Okay, so I've been working on this project called Content Import and Export. More of it could be gone through this link, my GitHub repo. So let's start with this project. Uh, So first, let's go through the problem which is addressed here, that webmasters actually find it very difficult to play with data that is there on Plone sites, and usually they find up with raising requests in community support and just raising issues over there. So this add-on is actually built up to fasten up that process and provide a solution for that. So hope there are few couple of audience here who is dealing with this problem, so they know how fuzzy is it. Okay, so now what's the solution that we are proposing here? So basically this add-on would simply give an option to import content into their new Plone sites or something else. We will discuss upon it later in the use cases. So let's go through the complete project, then we will discuss upon the use cases. Also, there is an export feature of this add-on that it should be easy to use and the UI should be more flexible, because many times the admins and the users of this add-on would be the non-technical users, which means it should be very handy to use and not simple JSON or something that is not readable enough. So, and then what else it provides? It completely handles the permission access for all the content, and other than just permission handle, it also looks for like what view or what content can be downloadable or manipulated, should be allowed for manipulation for a particular user. So that's a good thing. Another thing is it logs all possible errors, which should be good enough to understand what's really going on beneath the add-on. So that would be really helpful to the admins. Now the big question is, which versions does it support? For Plone 5, that is dexterity type, it is completely it completely supports the dexterity type, but as of archetypes, it does support. I have tested it with Plone 5, but yes, there is still some scope of testing to know what extent is it supportable with other Plone formats. So the one use case that the big use case could be for this is admins or the companies can upgrade their Plone version from Plone 5 to from Plone 4 to Plone 5 using this add-on. So let's see how it works. Let's see the workflow of this add-on. First, let's go with the export architecture of this add-on. So basically, this add-on uses the REST API serializer beneath its desk, which requests REST API with the Plone context, that which object does it require, and REST API simply sends embedded JSON to it. But the problem with that JSON is it's not readable to everyone, because every blob is there, HTML is there, images are there, file structures are there. So that is a huge problem, and it is not very much readable. So this add-on actually took that JSON, and also there are few things that are just given as a link in the JSON, which means you cannot directly view or cannot directly have access to those files. So this add-on actually took that JSON as an input, and there is a pipeline in that add-on which convert that whole JSON into a desired data format. We will talk upon the desired data format in just a few minutes. That desired data format is then zipped into a single file, and also it logs all the error that has been encountered with the throughout the process, just to ensure, just to have flexibility with the user, and they could be ensure that what's really going beneath the disk. So finally, it exports a zip. So export is really simple, and it is really cool because it supports all of blob files and all of the content types that Plone supports, or it also can handle all of the behavior and other data types that are created by the user itself, that is not universal by the Plone, that is created by the user for their company or for their product. So let's now see for the import architecture. The import architecture takes all the files, folders, blob, zip. That the import could be a zip or even just a list of, it could import multiple files at a time. So you did not have to zip it every time, or you do not have to look after that what are you really going to upload there. So as soon as it get the zip or the files, the pipeline again, it triggers the pipeline to convert that data into a single JSON, because for deserializing we are again using the REST API, and REST API only works with the JSON. So it simply put every of your blob content or all of your data files into a single embedded JSON and push it to the REST API to manipulate the content. That is that is a high-level architecture of this add-on, the import architecture of this add-on. Now let's look for the data format that it is the desired data format that is expected by this add-on. So here we have a zip file. Let's first talk of the export. So basically this JSON, at first JSON has been provided by the REST API, but as I have said, it is embedded and it contains a lot of information, and it is not structured in a good simple manner of a file directory structure. So basically at last, after getting out of the pipeline, the whole JSON, the whole data is like, it is a CSV, because we thought of that CSV is a good readable and good use. It is highly usable, and it could be used by non-techie people as well. So basically the crisp of this add-on is it export out a CSV which has all the metadata of a content, not the data, because let's say there is an image or there is a video file, then that video files and images are all exported in a simple directory structure that is more usable. So that whole CSV would just point out to the path of that file into the zip, and simply a whole zip would be exported out with the possible logs that has been flushed out during the process. And again, while we talk of the import desired data format, as I said, it could be CSV, but CSV is the primary one because add-on has to know that what content type it is and what is the file structure, what is the path, everything is in the CSV. So CSV is the main concern here. CSV itself could have a column named path for every content, which could lead to the file, and then that would help to that will help this add-on to figure out that what is beneath, what exactly is going to be imported in the site. So that is the desired data format here. Now let's talk about use cases. Well, there could be many use cases, but a few of them are being listed here because that's what we know of, and it would be very appreciable if someone could come up with few more use cases to it. The first one is, let's say user has created a site locally and then he wants to put it into production. So of course, when it is locally created, there are some default data for that site that could be easily put into the production with this, because you now have the data for that site, and it could be circulated anywhere in the world. You could send it to other person, other organization, to anywhere. Another is, let's say user has a staging server where they want to make wide ranging changes which get moved into production in a single transaction. Let's break it down and see, like moving production content back into staging, that is resyncing. So I guess most of the web admins would have a clear understand of this. Other use case that this add-on solve is, it is very hard, just as I said, it is very hard to upgrade to new Plone versions. So this add-on somehow solves that problem, because it took all of your data out of previous versions of Plone and simply imported back into the new version. So it can, as I said, it's completely working with the Plone 5, but we have not yet completed with the testing with the older versions. But as of now, it is doing really good with the archetypes that is being used in Plone 4. Other use case is, let's say there are a few images or a few files in your in your management system that you want to export, so you could easily export that particular files. So that's it. Other is, you could, for auditing purpose and all, these are a few use cases again been brought down using this add-on. Export of content into an external system. Yeah, that is a good feature. That is, sometime you only want to manipulate a few, you want to filter out or you want to modify a bulk update into your system. So you could easily, or the admins could easily use this, do this process using this add-on, as we have now a CSV, so it's much easier to interact with. Yes, that's another use case, that is exporting and importing the content into a new source or sending it to somewhere else overseas, so that they could manipulate it and they could change that. Yes, as it handles the permissions, so permissions could also, like it also handles permissions, so it allows editor to import content when they have permission to add content. So that is again a permission access. Now overview of this project. Well, this project was developed under Google Summer of Code 2017 program, and this project was actually originally proposed by Eric Breholt in 2016. There is a link over there which redirects you to the plip which Eric has proposed. So to know the complete length and breadth and all the use cases in depth, one can go there and just have an overview of it. So now it's time for demo. Let's see how good it works. So there are a few Plone websites that has been created earlier during the development process. This website has all available data types. That is, it has a video file, it has a CSV data, it has a few images as well, and so everything is there. So now let's try this. So for export, we need to go to yes, for the home. Currently, this add-on is able to export a particular folder. That is, we can export only the news, but the import is not working for a particular folder. It has to be imported all over the website, all over the site. In future aspects, this functionality could be added to this add-on. So now let's see how good is the UI and all. So for UI, it has two tabs, that is basic and advanced. In the basic tab, it does not provide any functional, improvised functionality. It only supports export and import. You don't have any option to choose, or you don't have any option to manipulate the data at the first point. Let's see the advanced tab here. In the advanced tab, in the export, you have options like you only want CSV to be exported, or else you only want to only files, a particular type of files you want to be exported, or both. Again, there are fields there are columns that has been used by the Plone default site. So you could just choose that you want only images or only text or image caption to be exported. So let's see how this works. So it gives me a downloadable zip. Yeah. So here is this downloaded zip. It has a file structure. Oh yeah, that's an old one. Okay. और क्या हो रहा है? Let's first go with the simple export. I don't know what's happening here. This is the simple export. So it shows you a CSV which contains all the metadata of your site. So this is the CSV. It shows you the content type. It shows you path. Every details that is necessary for a user. I have already sorted the columns that is been required and removed all of the keys that is just at this point of time I feel that is not required. So this is it. Now let's look at the blob files. As I said, it export a file structure. So here it is. It shows you the video files. Everything is completely managed and organized, so user don't have to really bother about. And like the REST API, it simply gives you a JSON, which is hard to interact with. So the pipeline really works well. You even have a zip inside, so every blob is there. Now let's look for the import of this. Let's see how this add-on could be used. There's a new website I'm going to create here, and I'm adding this add-on. I'm installing this add-on into this website as well, new website. So it's a fresh website with no content in this. So for using this, you need to go to Home Contents, and then from Actions, there's a tab to use this add-on. You could browse your file from here. This is a file. Let's import it. Yes, so here it is. At the last of the import, it gives me a downloadable log error to know what's really going beneath the surface. Yes, so this is our log file. It says that what all objects been created just now, and what all are the errors that is been thrown out of the process, and it shows all the success and the errors. So that's it. Let's see, is our data there? Yes, so this is our data. It's all been imported, sorry, and that's how it works. So this is the demo. Now let's go more of it. Yes, so you must be wondering who are the contributors. So I'm Shriyansh Agrawal, and you must know other three of these guys. They are the existing members of the community, and they were the mentors mentoring me in this GSOC project. So Franco, Alexander, I guess he is here. Yeah, he is here. And Dalian, I think they are not here, just Alexander here. So that's all, and thanks for coming to Barcelona. It's a great time. We are open to questions, so if someone wants to ask something. Yes?
So Plone based has determined types and add-on schema, but
Yes.
also one type might have different behaviors.
Yes.
And in most cases, you need to adopt to the interface of the behavior. Is this handled by a tool or is this handled by the Plone REST API?
REST API. Everything is handled by REST API, but yes, there are a few things which I figured out that are still not being handled with the REST API. That are the workflow, that is private, publish, and all. So REST API is still not handling that. But in this add-on, I myself has hard coded that whole function into it to just handle the workflows. Other than that, I guess everything is handled by the REST APIs.
Another free one. In content types where you have rich text fields, for example, you may have links to other content types, either linked by UID or linked by path, or even images included, either by path or by UID. How it is that? Because sometimes you export from one point in a different location, you get different paths and different UIDs and so
Yes.
on. In the end, you might result in some broken images or broken links.
Yes, I'm glad that you have asked that. This add-on actually handles that. As you could see that we have imported the Plone 2 website into Plone, the content of Plone 2 into Plone 20. So let's see if there's a page. Yeah. So let's see. There's a page called page 1, and there's another page called page 2, and the page 2 has a link to page 1. Okay, see this. So the page 2 has a link to page 1. It is redirected to page 1. Let's see if this is still working in the Plone 20. Yes. So it again redirected to Plone 1. So basically under the desk, it keeps the UID of every object, and when we are importing it into a new website, I create a map between all the previous UIDs and new UIDs using path of the objects. So that's how it has been handled, and it has been handled everywhere in the HTML, in images, because there could be many links. So it is been handled using UIDs.
But you don't follow dependence. For example, you have a document with the image reference, and the image is somewhat different part of the site. So when you export the primary document, so would you also include the image in the export?
Yes, as I showed you. See here, please. In this, we also export images here. Can I have an image here? Yes. So this is an image which is being called up from somewhere else, from the other part of the website, and it simply extract all of the data from there. Is there any other question?
What about content types that is not in a Chrome file? For example, Chrome 3 correction was known as something else. I don't remember what correction was known as in Chrome 3. Is there a way that you could say map this content type to the new content type?
This add-on is not really made for that. It's just that you could export a data from somewhere and import it to something else. So we are not creating a new content types. If the content type is already there in the website, there would be no error. Otherwise, it would simply raise an error, or it would simply import the data into it. But when you are refreshing your page, it would not show as it has been expected. So it's just the import export. We are not just creating new things here. Sorry, what kind of portlets?
Any kind of portlets. If you set some portlets for some time so that it gets converted back, does it handle also, or just only the content types itself?
Well, it handles all kind of thing. I'm not very sure that which portlet you are talking here. Let's see if it's there. So these are the content types that we are handling. I'm not sure what portlet is here.
You normally set up a portlet for down on one page or let it inherit, and when you have it on one page and convert it to the other page, if the portlet settings are correctly.
Oh yes, that has been handled here. Yeah, so there's no problem with that. Are there any more questions? Okay, I guess we are good here. There's no more question. Okay, yeah, there is one more question then. Yeah. Well, yeah, as you know that Plone 5 is dexterity type and the Plone 4 and before that it is archetypes. So as I've said, it completely supports the dexterity type, but I'm not very sure that to what extent can it support archetypes. It's still under the test, but as of now I have exported and then imported much of the content from Plone 4 to Plone 5, and it really works well for me. And I would appreciate if someone could just, get with some issues that it is not working with this type or that type or anything. So the other use case is that it's easy to upgrade websites from this add-on.
But if the import has fields that don't exist in the target site,
What kind of fields?
say you've got a dexterity type and in the target you added like a nickname field and the import doesn't have a nickname field.
Yes, yes.
Field that is not in the target.
As I have said to Ocean, that it is only playing with the data, not the backend that is that data supported with that website. User has to create all the backend for that so that data could be just fit into that. It's only playing with the data, not creating any new types or new fields.
Will it import what it can, or will it refuse to do anything?
If the data is not there, it would just simply ignore that. And also in the add-on, let me show you that. While you are importing any new data into or playing with the data, in the advanced tab of import, there is an option. I will show you. Yeah, so there is an option that what all fields are there in your zip. Other than that, it also allows you to update or ignore. Let's say if there's a data already there, then it also allows you to choose one of these, that ignore the already existing data or update the existing data. Or again, there could be many fields in the CSV. You could just select a few of them, that I want this, I want that, just import that and not the whole thing. So that really works with the usability, because sometimes you export all of the data but you don't want everything to be imported, and you don't want like filter out the CSV and the metadata, just delete. Just manipulating is not really required. You could just select which fields you want to import.
How does it handle really huge imports?
Okay, you are asking like GBs or terabytes of import. Yeah, well, there's a scope for it. As of now, it simply keeps everything in the where or the temp of the Plone site, but there's a room for it, and that could be handled. But I have yet not tested it with a huge data, so it's still an open question.
So is the import one transaction, or will it do sub-transactions?
As of now, it's one transaction. I mean, it just read whole of the imported data, keeps it in the memory, then process it one by one. So that's how it works. Any more questions? I think we are good here, and it's time to finish this. I would be happy. I would be that if you could just come up with some few more issues and just raise them here on this. Uh, Now my project is already been merged in the collective Plone.import export. So if you could just come up with some new issues and just raise there, so we could help them. We could help you guys. Or there's a community plone.org, and there's a thread going on content import export, which has all the previous discussions and the previous thought of it. So one can just go through it and just know the whole summary of the project. Okay, fine. Thank you very much.